Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about everything I made in the month of June. So June was actually not that busy in terms of sewing. I didn't sew much. I made 5 items of clothing, but I only used 3 patterns. So I've got 2 repeats and 1 separate pattern. And that's pretty much all I was able to do in June. So June was like a busy month for me for like non-sewing stuff, but I did make sure I get these ones out because like I really wanted to start wearing those as soon as possible. So let's just get into it because this is going to be a pretty quick video. So the first one you have literally just seen, my last video, was this sew along of the VikiSews Deborah top. So I made this like mid-June along with this other version here, which I made a couple of weeks like at the beginning of June. So I made this one first, absolutely fell in love with it, the fit, and decided I was going to make another one. And then this one I decided when I was making it that I was going to turn it into a sew along so you guys can like make it too. So these are the first 2 makes that I made in June, and like you already know my views on this. I absolutely love this pattern, love the shoulder detail, love how easily it comes together, love the zip opening from the bottom instead of the top. Like so many different like small details, but it can really change like how you feel about a top. Like it just kind of is different from other tops that have puffy sleeves. So yeah, like I'm a sucker for puffy sleeves at the moment, and I'm sure a lot of you are as well. And this one is a pleasure to sew, and when you've done it, it's like a really nice thing to wear. So definitely a fan. I have one more cut out in an Ankara, which I will try and find some time this month to make before it gets into August. And I'm pretty sure I will maybe make like 3 or 4 more because I really think it's one of those wardrobe staples, and it will just work really well all the way through summer, into autumn, even into winter. I've seen some different versions. I'll put the hashtag. The hashtag is actually in Cyrillic, which I think is the name for the Russian like alphabet. I can put the hashtag so you guys can have a look, and you can see like all the Russian sewers have been turning them into dresses, into like baby doll type dresses where it kind of stops here. There's been a few that have kind of like made the bodice a little bit longer and then put like a tiered skirt underneath, like so many different variations. So I know that I won't be just making a top version of this pattern. I will definitely be doing some modifications and like making some dresses. I'm very excited about this pattern, and VikiSews in general is like at the moment my favorite like pattern company to make stuff from. Even though it's in Russian and it's incredibly difficult to translate, the styles and the clothing and the fit so far, I can't fault it. So that's my favorite at the moment, which is why the next thing that I have is also a VikiSews thing. And this one I tried after I made this Deborah top, and this is the GLORIA dress. If you guys follow my Instagram, I actually put it on stories the other day because I'd already made 2, and I decided I was going to make a top version. I wanted to know if you guys wanted to see it as a sew along, and I showed you what it looked like on. The response was really positive. You guys really liked the dress, and a few of you, when I put you onto VikiSews, actually bought that pattern. So the ones that did buy that pattern was like very excited because now you know what it looks like on, what it fits like, or at least on my body. It gives you an idea of maybe what it might look like on you, or just what it looks like on a real person and then moving around. So as I was saying, I made 2. I made this one in this really gorgeous like teal crepe with like little flowers on it. I think this pattern is a really good pattern for like that ditzy kind of print. And here is the other one that I made in this like cream crepe color. So it's like a cream crepe with like these little like circles on them, really cute ditzy prints, which I think works absolutely perfectly for this dress. So when I saw this dress on VikiSews, I think Viki herself was wearing it, and it looked really nice. So it was mostly this sleeve that got me, with the shearing at the bottom and then like a nice puff. It feels very like feminine, a little bit Victorian. I just really liked it. I'm really enjoying the puff sleeve, like romantic blousey type thing at the moment. So I thought I'd give it a go, and because the exchange rate is like very good between rubles and the pound sterling, I think it worked out to like £3 or £4 for the pattern. So of course I bought it. I have a lot of crepes. All of those ones up to about halfway are crepes. So I figured let's just make it my size right out of the pack, see how it fits. So when you pick your sizing, as I said in the last video, you'll pick your height and then you'll pick your size, which will be European. There is a sizing chart which you can measure your bust, your waist, your hip, and kind of see where you fall in that line, just like any other pattern. The only reason why it might feel a little bit difficult is because it's in another language. But again, like I said before, if you can get onto a browser that has a translate option like Google Chrome, which translates the page automatically to the language that your preset, your default is, which I live in England, so it's English. It just does it. So it just makes the website so easy to navigate, and you can find the size chart absolutely no problem. So because of that, I just thought, well, it's already sized to my size, it's sized to my height, which means the torso and the leg will be the right proportions. Let's just make it up, try it on, and see what happens. We'll make our alterations after. So I made this one first, and I made it out of this fabric because I actually have a lot of this. I bought 3 meters of this fabric because I think when I bought this fabric, I was going to make like a long maxi type dress, but I also thought that this kind of ditzy print works for maxi dresses, but also works for like these kind of like tea style dresses, kind of like romantic feeling like that. So I knew that it would be a good match if it worked. And I knew also that I wouldn't be so upset about it if it didn't work, because I picked this one up, I think from China, and the fabric was super cheap. I think it was like, it worked out to like £2 a meter. So I spent like £6 in total for it. Just in case you were wondering if I was being really wasteful, I have bags and bags of like scraps and like maybe just end bits that I just don't know what to do with. I do have a few scrap buster projects like scrunchies, you know, face masks now. That's a thing that you can use for a scrap buster. But I'm also in the process of making a foot poof, you know, those like poofs that you can put your feet on, and then I'm just going to stuff it with all of that fabric. Instead of buying stuffing, I'm just going to use all of my scraps, and that is like a really sustainable way to be able to make some furniture and something cute, but then get rid of all your scraps in one go. So if anything, I'm saving all my scraps now, even those tiny little straggly bits. Those ones would have gone in the bin. Everything is being kept now. So when I move into my new house, I'll have all these cute like floor pillows and poofs that I can put like in some corners, which I made myself, and absolutely full of scraps. So it's like a zero waste type thing going on, because I do realize that with all of this fabric, it will create a lot of waste, and I've been very conscious of that. Even though like I still enjoy buying fabric, I don't want to be wasteful. So I literally underneath my desk have like maybe like I'm coming up to my 6th bag of like small scraps now, and now I will be using all of those scraps to stuff all my new cushions and floor cushions. In case you guys were wondering, because I know that some of you are concerned about the wasteful properties of sewing, and I am also concerned too. To be honest, it wasn't something that really crossed my mind when I first started sewing, but definitely now and in the last couple of years, I've been very conscious of the amount of waste that can be generated when you're sewing and when you're sampling things as well. Because I have a lot of calico here, and when you're trying to pattern cut, you use up a lot of resources. So I'm now saving all those clippings and I'm putting them into my bag to stuff into something later. You can also do that with like teddy bears and stuff like that. So if you make dolls and things like that, you don't always have to use like polystyrene balls, which is really not good for the environment. If you have like fabric that you're not using, fabric scraps, just stuff it with that. You can actually stuff them until they're like really, really stuffed. So yeah, in case you were wondering, and you know, I didn't want to make this video too short, so I thought I had to go at least on one tangent. So anyway, back to the dress. I made this right out of the packet, tried it on, and it was basically a perfect fit. Honestly, there was nothing that I wanted to change about this. So I'm very, very happy about it. So this fabric on one layer is a little bit sheer. You can kind of see where the seams are. It doesn't bother me too much, but if you are thinking of using a crepe, just bear in mind that some crepes are very thin and you might have to line it, and it's meant to be something that's quite form-fitting, so just keep that in mind when making. This second one, I decided to make it in another crepe, but it's a little bit more of like a crepe viscose type feel, a little bit more silkier, and it's completely opaque. So this way I knew that you wouldn't be able to see where the seams are. And yeah, I absolutely love them both. This is a great color. It's almost like I've got a summer version and a winter version. I've actually already cut out a third one, but it's just going to be the bodice because I really like this neckline, and I also like the sleeve, and I think it would look really nice as a top that kind of comes to your mid waist, possibly with like some sort of frill at the bottom. Still haven't decided on that yet, but either way I'm going to try and see what it looks like as a top, and if it looks as good as I think it might, then that's going to also fall into the rotation of like cute little tops that I keep making. So that is all of the things I actually sewed that is clothing. So I told you there wasn't really much. I made 2 dresses and I made 2 tops, both from the same pattern company. Of course, I will put all of the links down below so that you guys can have a look for yourselves. I will say this again, please make sure you use a browser that will translate the page for you. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of difficulty navigating the page if you do not speak or read Russian. There were a few people who were having extreme difficulty finding the page. I always put the links in the description bar below, so if you want to find the link to the exact thing, I will put the link that will take you straight to that page. I can't really say that enough because I know a few people asked those questions even though I had given the information. I'll say it one more time so that there is no confusion. I will put the link below for both the Deborah top and the GLORIA dress in the description bar below. Please make sure you use a browser that has an auto translate. The browser that I used to translate the site was Google Chrome. If it does not, please check your settings. I can't do this for you over the internet, okay? I've gone as far as I can go. The rest is up to you. Let's go on to the last thing that I made in June, and then we can just finish up this video, okay? So the last thing that I made in June was this hat. After I made the Sorrento bucket hat in May, I kind of went through a bit of a hat thing. So I don't know if you know, I've been doing a lot of gardening. I've been spending a lot of time outside in my garden, and yes, really enjoying it, and now have so many courgettes that I'm literally eating courgettes on a daily basis. And for you Americans, zucchinis, lots of zucchini. This is the Serpentine hat, which is also from the same company, so from ELBE Textiles. The Sorrento bucket hat at the time when I got it was free. I believe now it's $2, and I think that money goes to charity. So this one was $5, and this one has a wider brim, and it's also a floppier hat. And I really liked the Sorrento bucket hat, but I definitely wanted something that had a really wide brim and that kind of sits quite kind of floppy on my head. I just have these visions of like having one of those floppy hats. It feels very 90s. Do you remember when you used to like flip them up and they'd have like a really weird flower thing? Yeah, so I wanted one of those. I wanted one of those for gardening because it would definitely go over my head and a little bit over my shoulders and protect the back of my neck, because the Sorrento bucket hat, even though it protects kind of around your face, the back of my neck was still getting absolutely char grilled while I'm outside. So I wanted something that would cover that, and this just does the job perfectly. So the fabric for this is like a canvas material that I picked up when I went to Scotland over a weekend. I was in Glasgow, and they have a lot of fabric stores out there. I picked up this fabric knowing that I probably wouldn't make clothing with it. The way that it is, it's just like a navy with like, it looks like writing, but it just feels like scribbles. I just really liked it, but I knew it would never be clothing. I don't think I'd ever wear anything like that. So I knew it would either be like an accessory or a bag. So I just picked up like 2 meters. I think it was going for like £6 a meter. So I picked up 2 meters, knowing that I might make a hat, a bag, maybe a belt, or like maybe even a pillow or a cushion with it. Now that I've made this hat, I actually still have a bit more, so I could probably make a little tote bag to go with it, and then we could be matchy down the street. Just like the Sorrento bucket hat, it was really easy to put together. You had the option to use a lining or to double face it, and I decided to double face it, so now I can kind of wear it both ways. But at the moment, it's definitely doing its job of protecting me in the sun, and it's really comfortable to wear. Although I cannot wear it when my hair is up. So it's whenever my hair is down or in a low pony is usually when I will pop this hat on. I would recommend this hat if you're looking for something with a wider brim. You can, of course, use your Sorrento bucket hat and like extend the pattern so that it is wider. To be fair, to be honest, like I'm very much in support of small businesses and the indie pattern companies. So if I see a pattern that I like, even if I know that is very similar to a pattern that I already own, I will spend the money and help out that business, especially in these like really difficult times, helping out all those other small businesses, especially when I know how much hard work goes on behind the scenes just to get out patterns that we can buy. I don't mind spending my coins to help somebody else out. But that is it. That is everything that I made in the month of June. 2 tops, 2 dresses, and a hat. That's it. So yeah, that's it. Hopefully this was my quickest video, but like, we don't know. We know that I like to go off on a tangent, so it's probably just as long as all the other ones. So as I always say, thank you for watching to the end of the video. If you enjoyed this video, then hit that thumbs up button. It really lets YouTube know that you guys are enjoying my content. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I love to hear you guys' thoughts. And if you haven't already, then subscribe. And if you have subscribed, then make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I bring out another video. That's it, guys. How did I do? What do you think? I don't know. All right, I'll see you guys next week.